Your own understanding, truth under Babylon's empiricism. What up? On here real quick, once again. This time I want to actually speak about, for one, I want to plug my man Papa Duck podcast. Pardon me. You know how we do in the city. Papa Duck podcast, I caught the end of it. I was busy with other things. I believe he has it on Facebook and YouTube now. So now you can catch it live. Yeah, one of my subscriptions. Wonderful duck sauce. So definitely listen to the brother. Anyway, he has a podcast where he spoke about words, the magic behind words and things like that. I wanted to chime in. I wanted to actually give a call, but I missed it. Not because I was doing other things. I try to catch it every Wednesday. So anyway, yeah, my man Papa Duck. Keep on going with that duck sauce, man. He's definitely a wisecracker. So yeah, so continue with that same thing. We're gonna talk about words. What I call wordism and the whole issue behind words. Uh, that is a whole resonant system of control. I'm going to break it down. I'll break it down somewhat, and I'll explain and elaborate a little further what I mean by this. Um, so, when you speak about, I'm going to go kind of back and forth, kind of how my mind works. So try to stay with me, please, as you know, the commerce happens around us, the trains and the planes and the automobiles for consumers for real. Man. So so anyway, wordism is definitely real. So the misconception behind what we are doing when we word, there is a whole timeline. If you want to break it down using some sort of measurement when it comes to the isness, uh, one thing you can subscribe to is time. That is one of the mechanisms of control. But for the sake of me explaining what I'm trying to talk about, we're going to use time. So we have records, quote unquote records, where we talk about time and things that happened throughout his story. Who's anyway? So you have to understand there's a time before recorded time, where they just refuse to talk about, refuse to even elaborate on. The ones at the very top, they know because they have to, in order to keep so much control, in order to keep that system going. It's a biological computer, so to speak, the happenings around us. And you are part of it. You are a piece of information within that computer, your data. That's what you are, literally. So let's get back onto the subject of words. There is a time where we did not we, there is a time when the natural life forms, which we come from, did not word. Hold that, hold that thought. So now, when you go to the dictionary, Webster's dictionary, or any kind of dictionary that you find, encyclopedias and things like that, you'll find endless symbols, endless script of language. In this case, we'll talk about English. Uh, they have the call words and meanings behind the words. Now, keep in mind, this is coming from the same system, the same anti-natural system that governs you. So they have created a system of quote unquote words, sounds that you adhere to and project emotion through the listening. This is a part of the biological computer system, which you are a part of. So they understand this resonance. They understand how this plays on your emotions, on your biology, on your person. They know how these things play. Like this, none of this is new. So you have to first understand that you take the word, take the noun away, take it away, even though it is a symbol. They are symbols within a symbology. So you take the noun away and change it to an adverb. So now we word. That's what we do. We word. We subscribe to that part of the system as a form of communication, which we had not before. When I say we, I say that connection to what we come from, the form we come from, to get to this decayed form. So now we are subscribed to that word system now. So now we can understand the commands from the dictatorship of the synthetics, which are here to hoard nature and pimp you out. So in those books, in those dictionaries, once again I go back, in those books, you have the dictatorship of the wording that we all subscribe to. Now, in this case, when I'm talking about English, I'm not saying that there wasn't a time where words weren't only in English. Of course, they come from every place. Everything has to word now in this form. This is how we communicate, because we are in a decayed form. We no longer can just imply as we once did and as we should just imply, because we are all in the same understanding and the same rhythmic pattern. So it's more of a gesture and understanding. You know, he talked about last night. Duck talked about telepathy. He said it a little different wrong. He said it a little differently, but telepathy is what he was actually speaking of. And also telekinesis is another whole nother video, but we're not going to speak about that. Man, there's a lot out here that they hide from you, within and without. One single source, all directions, but a source within the source, within the source. You're kind of onto with the Tesseract. So now you have this dictatorship and this word code system that you all subscribe to, that you have no fucking idea what it's even rooted in, because energy comes in many forms. Energy manipulates motion. So if you don't even know what the hell you're talking about when you say hi, hello, good morning, good night, da 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 da, all the things you don't even think about, but you've been practiced, you've been taught. That's a whole lot. So now we word in order to get our so-called point across. What our point is only based on a system of teaching and conditioning dictated by oppression. So we don't even know ourselves. It runs very very unshallow, folks. Yeah, so even the dictionaries, like I said, like you have no clue when they tell you the meaning on the surface what it actually really truly means that you're saying, because it's that deep and it's that much transitioned throughout time. So it's all relevant. It's all relevant. So yes, be careful what you say, because just like there's a current in water, there's a current in the atmosphere, flow, weather, wind. There's a current within the electromagnetic spectrum. There's a current behind that. There's a current behind all that. There's like things flow, and they flow. When they flow in the direction of life, in the practice of perpetuation. That's how they know, like, this is going nowhere. There's not a shortage of anything. There's a hoarding of things. Not shorting, a hoarding. So, once again, just try to look up over that little fence and see what your neighbors is doing. I'm saying that metaphorically, because I don't want you to really spy on your neighbors and shit. I'm saying just look behind the veil. It's a scary sight, but what is fear other than something that you decide to do? It's just like wording. You decide to speak, you decide to use the words that you were taught. Or you can make it happen. Whatever it is that you have in your mind as a goal, make that happen. Or you use words. These are all symbols. This is all code. Like I said, in the biological computer, it's a code. These are all codes. Everything is just information. Once you understand that, you can say, okay, and then use the correct information and chart your path. 'Cause right now, they on your ass. Mine too.